Hello, this is another episode of Problem Games. Today I will be talking about Dota 2. In particular, I'll want to be focusing on the originality that this game brings to the genre. To do this, I am going to go to a top 10 list of reasons to be interested in this game created by DotaCinema, which I will have a link to in the description below. The reason why I chose this top 10 list over any other top 10 list is because DotaCinema seems to have the most complete coverage of Dota 2 compared to any other YouTube channel. And for this reason, I feel that they are the most qualified to comment on the reasons to play Dota 2. And I have also gone through other channels and looked at their top 10 list, and for the most part, they completely agree with DotaCinema. There might be one or two things that have been changed, but the overall list is fairly unaffected. And quite frankly, when I first heard this list, I was not particularly interested in Dota 2 because the list shows a complete lack of originality in the game. So I will be going through the list and explaining why the list overall just really doesn't impress me, and I honestly feel like that nobody should offer Dota 2 their patronage because of how little originality this game has. Okay, so at number 10, the thing that DotaCinema claims is the 10th best thing in the Dota 2 is the fact that it is on Steam. But, well, while this is helpful, I really don't see it as something that I would consider a I need to buy this game factor. It's just, I like the fact that I don't have to get my friends list updated and figure out which of my friends are going to play this game, but I'm not really going to go out of my way to buy this game so that I can have my constant friends list. At number 9 is the shop. And quite frankly, this is the one legitimate thing on this list that I feel actually belongs on this list because it is the only thing that is semi-original in it. The shop interface is actually a very good shop interface for this game, especially since that once you die, you lose money. And the fact that you can just buy items on the fly without bringing up your shop menu, so you don't have to worry about trying to buy items right before combat and then the combat getting initiated and then you getting totally screwed over, is amazing. And I love this factor of the game. But like I said, this will be the only thing on the list that I actually enjoy, and it's ranked 9. And while the shop is helpful, it has very little effect overall on the gameplay because you learn to manage the shop in the old Dota. The fact that the new shop is more helpful is helpful, but not going to be game-changing or anything along those lines. At number 8, DotaCinema has the voice acting. And while I can appreciate good voice acting, it's just voice acting. It's not a major part of the game. It's not like this game is a story-based game whatsoever. And the fact that the voice acting is good is nice, but not interesting or helpful at all. At number 7 is practice mode, and while practice mode is amazingly useful and I love having it, it is a feature that exists in this game for the first time, but it has already been used in Han, and there's just nothing that's original about it or particularly better about it than Han's system. It's just a system that a game along this genre should just have now, and the fact that it's on this list doesn't impress me at all. I might as well just continue playing Han. At number 6 is replays, and while replays are nice to have, and I should probably use mine more, they still aren't something that's new to the genre at all. It's just continuing the same thing, and it doesn't improve upon the genre beyond what's already been established whatsoever. At number 5 is Familiar Heroes, and it should have familiar heroes. It is a sequel. The problem I have with this is the fact that there are no new heroes, and while I can really appreciate having heroes that I recognize and having abilities that don't take me very long to pick up because I've played them before, the fact that the hero base is entirely based off the original set of heroes right now is uninteresting, and I could just go back and play the original Dota if I wanted to play with these heroes. That being said, this game is still in beta. I can give a little bit of slack for this problem because it is still just a beta, and I will hope that they release newer heroes as the game develops more, and at the very least, after they run out of old heroes, I hope that they will come up with new heroes so that the game doesn't become stagnant. At number 4 on DotaCinema's list is the graphics. And quite frankly, the graphics are amazing. I love the graphics. But the graphics for this style of game don't need to be amazing. And while I can enjoy the graphics in both Han and LoL were more than enough. I can definitely appreciate the need to evolve past Dota, but the Han and LoL graphics being the quality that they are is more than this series needs, and the fact that graphics is number 4 is kind of disheartening for me. At number 3 is spectators, and with the spectators, I go back to one of my previous arguments. It's something that already exists in other games of this genre, LoL for example, and it doesn't really add anything more to the genre. They're just continuing the same thing that has already become standard and doesn't push the genre any farther. The second best thing that was on DotaCinema's list is the fact that this game is made by a combination of IceFrog and Valve, so that you will have a combined fan base, and it will be helpful for the continuation of the game and help you get matches. Well, while I always feel that having enough of a fan base to make the game a viable game is good, it's not something that we've had a problem with in the past. You can play both Han and LoL and have more than enough fan base to get whatever gameplay you want going. And while IceFrog and Valve have proven themselves to be amazingly good companies in the past, I don't really find that the fact that they're making the game has impressed me, especially since they've shown that they have a complete lack of originality based off the prior things that have been listed in this episode. And they need to do more work at being original and less work at just trying to get their name out and trying to farm the Dota franchise for all the money that it's worth. Now, the top-ranked thing on the DotaCinema list for reasons to be interested in Dota 2 is player perspective. Player perspective makes it so while you're in spectator mode, you can see exactly what the players are clicking. And while I am unaware of this being in either Han or LoL, it is in StarCraft 2, and doing something that's on the StarCraft 2 engine isn't overly impressive because they're both real-time strategy games. And the fact that you can see what players are clicking is helpful, and I really love having it so I can study high elo players, but it doesn't really help the game be original or appealing to new players. And quite frankly, the thing that I like the least about this being number 1 is the fact that they had already listed spectator mode at number 3, making two of the top 3 reasons to be interested in this game practically the exact same thing. And that concludes DotaCinema's list of the top 10 reasons to be interested in Dota 2. And quite frankly, I think this list is correct. These probably are the top 10 reasons to be interested in Dota 2. While I might have rearranged them a bit differently, in particular putting the Dota shop higher because I put a bit more value on originality than they do, it doesn't change the fact that it's the same list, and that if I was reviewing my own list, I would be having the exact same complaints about the game. And quite frankly, I don't see the reason why anybody should purchase this game if it is sold at any sort of value whatsoever. The only real pull to this game is the fact that it has the Dota name stamped in its title, but the fact that the game is so similar to the original Dota means that I could just go back and play the original Dota and have about as much fun without spending any extra money. And if I wanted to play a more updated version of the original Dota, I could either go to Han or LoL, and Han is close enough to the original Dota that I really don't feel like I'm losing anything, even if there are some features in it that I could complain about that I think make it worse. And I just really don't see the reason why, if they decide to charge any money for this game, which I feel like they're going to need to, I don't see any reason why I should buy this game.